Hi guys, it's Jen and I'm back with another Out of the Pocket video. This is the series where I show you how to use Project Life cards or pocket page cards on regular layouts. So I have my 3x4 cards stored in this iPhone box. So if any of you recently bought an iPhone, just FYI, they fit in here. Maybe not if you have more than I do, but I don't have a ton of cards. But today I wanted to show you how I am going to use dies, specifically these circle dies, to cut shapes out of my cards and use them on a layout. You could also use punches for this, but what I'm wanting to do is I have this photo. It's kind of a weird size. Let me measure it. It's 4 by 7 1/4. Sometimes I print weirdly sized photos. This came from my iPhone. It was a selfie, so it's not like super clear either, but I really wanted to scrapbook this photo of me and some of my friends, and so that's what I'm going to scrapbook today. I'm using a piece of white cardstock for my background, and I'm just going to, like I said, use my Big Shot and cut out a bunch of circles from my various cards. So let me just pull that over here so you can see. And I'm just going to go through my cards and kind of find some, before I start cutting, find a few cards that I think would work with this. And so what I do is I'll just grab a whole stack and just kind of flip through. So, and I can use, you know, front or back, different patterns. I don't think that one will work. Maybe the stripes, that would be, it has a little bit of red in it, and red is the dominant color in these photos, but that doesn't mean that I have to use red necessarily, but it's there. And I will also look for words that I can cut out, like hugs and kisses. I believe I'm going to use this larger circle, which cuts out about a 2-inch circle. So I'll just make sure things fit. But that could definitely work. So I'm just gonna flip through my cards and find some that I think will work, and then I will cut them out. Okay, so I've gone through and found some cards that I think might work. I mostly went through the 4x6 cards. I started with this card, but I don't think I'm going to include it because I like the softer colors. I know I've used the Maggie Holmes cards on a lot of the layouts, but that's what I have and that's what I'm going to use. I also have some cards from the Notes and Things value pack as well as the Trinkets value pack, so we'll see about that. And then this is a cut apart from a Felicity Jane paper. So I'm gonna cut out a bunch of these. I did pull one 4x6 card because I thought it might look nice to have the center of this flower cut out just as an interesting pattern. I don't know how it's going to look, so I'm gonna cut them out and then decide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to cut more than one at a time, especially if it doesn't matter where on the card I cut. I did choose several cards that had a circular pattern that would fit inside my circle, like this. Several like that. And so there are a bunch like that, but there are also a few that are just like this pattern is just the polka dot, and that doesn't really matter where it falls. And so same with the heart. So I'm just going to place these two together, put my circle on top, sandwich it, and run it through. And just to be sure it cuts through both, I'll go back the other way. Okay, so there's two, and I'll just cut the rest of these in a similar way. Now with the ones that are like this one, the circle is a little bit larger than what this circle will be, but if I lay this circle on top, I can kind of still see it's going to cut it within this outside edge, but I can still see that even if it cuts on that very inside edge, I can still see the words love you. So with this one, I am going to take a little bit of washi tape and tape it down just so that it doesn't move before I send that one through. So do that. And this would be cute as kind of like a little cutout, but see there you can see the love you and it worked great. So I'm just going to finish cutting the rest of these out. Okay, so now I have all my circles cut, and I kind of had the idea to just line them up below my photo, and I don't know if I'm going to need all of these or which ones I'm going to use. I realized after I cut them that I chose a bunch that had words on them, so we'll see. Sometimes I don't like to have too many words. So I did cut out this one, where did it go? That has the little girl on it, because it's not a little girl, it's a lady, but I didn't know when I would ever use that again. And this one I'm going to talk about how these women are my people. So I thought that might be appropriate. So here's the way that flowery one turned out, and I kind of like the way that looks. So I thought I would line them up maybe 3 across, kind of spread out. Let's see. So none of those really have words, so maybe, I mean, words that you can, that are really readable. I don't think I'm going to use this happiness one. It doesn't fit. The rest of them are Maggie Holmes or this one that's really saturated. I don't think I'm going to use that because it just doesn't fit the feel. So if I move my photo up, I wonder if I need to do 4 across instead of 3 and put them closer together. Oh, I think I like 3. I can't really cut this photo down because the faces go right to the edges. This was a selfie on a large table. So I think what I do need to do is just do 3 across and spread them out. And I think that will still look nice. So if I do something like that, they're a little bit more squished together this way than they are this way, which kind of bothers me. I think I'm going to play around a little bit with the placement and get those glued down, and then I will come back with some titling ideas. Okay, so I think I found a configuration that's going to work for me. I found that by splitting up the circles so that they're above and below the photo, I'm going to like that a lot better. It just feels more balanced. It bothered me that the photo was slightly smaller than the width of the way the circles were going. And so this way, I have the width of the circles both on top of and on the bottom of the photo, and that helps me more. I haven't adhered them down yet because I wanted to show you that, but I think I'm going to pop up some of these circles on foam squares. So I'm going to pop up the girl there. I'm just using some thin foam adhesive. It gives a little dimension, but not a ton. I've had questions about where to get this foam adhesive. I haven't seen this particular brand for sale anywhere, but I will link you to some American Crafts makes a thin foam adhesive. So you can, I'll link to that on my blog. So I'm just going to do a few things that I want to stand out. So the love you for sure, the girl because it's all of us girls, and then I think I'm going to do this hug, laugh, smile, have joy. And I think I might move things around a little bit so it feels more balanced because I want it to be further away from the girl, the popped up one. So I like to have a good color balance. So you can see that I have this heavy pink is not too close to each other. It's kind of bothering me now that these colors are so similar. I want this to be on this side though, because I think I'm going to put my journaling there. And so I'm having a dilemma. Maybe I can put my journaling on that side. It doesn't make a huge difference. And maybe it doesn't matter if these are closer together. Maybe I just need to pop up one more, like the polka dot. I think I will. That way it feels a little bit more balanced to my eye. You can do whatever works for you, obviously. So I'm going to adhere these so that they're spaced apart a little bit and they go slightly larger than the width of the photo. And that way I can get them nice and evenly spaced out, and that will make me happy. So I'll go ahead and get those adhered down. Okay, so I've gotten everything adhered down, and I realized afterwards it's not exactly perfect on the sides, the width. I can't be bothered by that. I'm not gonna let it matter. I did mount the photo on just a really thin mat of black cardstock. I think the photo might be a little crooked too because there's a little bit of wonky spacing, but like I said, I'm not too worried about it. It's just what it is. So my title is going to be My People, and I don't know exactly where it's going to work to put it yet. I pulled out a few options as far as stickers go. These ones from Print Shop, they're a little bit larger. I thought I could either go bright pink, so I pulled out a lot of pink options, or I could go in black to bring in some more of those black elements. I'm leaning toward the pink, and in fact, I'm leaning toward these letter stickers only because they are so small. So what I'm going to do, we'll see if I have enough letters on that one. I'm going to put my title on some wax paper so I can move it around and see exactly where I want to place it. Okay, so I started working on my titling, and I wanted to show you what I found. So I started with this smaller word, My People. It's a little bit off color, which kind of bothers me, but I was placing it around and I thought maybe I could layer it on top of one of these circles. It just isn't quite working out, and even if I were to stick it here, I don't like the way it looks. So I ruled that one out. So I decided to try the black letters. These are some Amy Tangerine thickers, and they're just not quite working out either. It looks okay here. I could stick it on the side of the photo, but that breaks up this kind of nice line that I've created. And so I was feeling with both of these options that they felt really blocky or something. So I decided to go to my silhouette and just cut out some scripty words in white. And I think that the scripty words help. So what I think I'm going to do is layer them directly onto the photo. This whole part of the photo does not matter. What I care about is the faces, and they're all around the outside. And so I can layer things up on top of the photo without a problem. And like I said, it says My People. Now, the thing that I'm struggling with now is it feels really white compared to this kind of grayish white that's in these cards. I know that the background's white, but that feels okay to me. I think I'm going to try to make these a little bit off colored. And so what I'm going to do is I just have a piece of a craft mat here, or like a Teflon coated sheet. They still have a little bit of sticky on the back of them from pulling them off my silhouette mat. I have a fairly new mat. And so what I'm going to do is just stick those down, and then I actually have some dirty water. We'll see if this works. I might try it. I cut out the word twice because I accidentally ripped it. So let me try it on here first and see if just putting that dirty water on there does the trick, because it's just a little grayish. So you can see it's not that much different. I don't think that's the route to go. What I might do, it might be nice to bring in this aqua color. I don't have any aqua colored paints, but I could mix some. So I have just this cheap watercolor set. And let me move my page out of the way because I'm bound to get stuff on it. What I could do is take some of this aqua color and mix it with white. And maybe a little bit more green because that's more of a greeny aqua. And mix a little bit more white in there. I want it to be really soft. I'm going to try it again on a piece that is not the final word because if it doesn't work out, I don't want to have to do it again. So I'm just going to paint that on, and then I think what I'm going to do is just grab, I have a dry wipe in my garbage can. I'm just going to dab it, and then it's still a little bit wet, but now I can see if this color will work. It looks really pretty with it. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this back down and just lightly brush on that color. So just kind of as a little tip, when you're working with project life cards, I know in this instance I cut them out, but if you leave them all together, things can get quite blocky, seeing as they're all rectangular shaped or you know, they're kind of boxy. And so I think that you incorporating circular elements or script words like this really helps to break up the blockiness. So if you're creating another layout where you're just using the cards themselves as they are, I think it's really helpful to incorporate some sort of element that is kind of softer, that has softer lines, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'll just let those get dried up and adhere those to the layout and come back with some finishing touches. Okay, so now I'm going to do something kind of bold. I've glued down my letters. I just used my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in a fine line bottle because it has a really thin applicator. I'm going to write "These Are" in a white Jelly Roll pen above my people. And I'm just going to do it in this dark space right here. Not my best handwriting ever. Go over it just a little bit so it looks a little bit better. So now it says "These are my people," and I like that. Good enough. Okay, so now I am ready to go ahead and do some embellishment. I think I'm going to write a little bit of journaling here before I get started, and if I need more journaling space, then I will figure out where to put that as well. And I'm going to go ahead and find some embellishments and get started on embellishing. Okay, so I've got my journaling down. I just wrote really small so that I could fit it in this circle. And now I've pulled a bunch of things to do some embellishing with. Before I do that, I am actually going to add the date with my roller date stamp. And I'm just going to do the month and the year. So September 2014 was the date. I'm going to stamp it in black, if I can find my black ink pad. Here we go. I'm just using archival black from Close to My Heart. And I think I'm going to stamp it just right here in that area. There we go. And I just stamped it a few times without re-inking it. And now I have a variety of things. So I have these little bows. They're from Close to My Heart as well. And they just kind of matched the coloring, so I thought it might be fun to include one or two of these bows on here. I don't know which one yet, but I'm going to pull out both of those. I have these 2 pieces of flare that if I want to include, those match it nicely. I pulled out some chipboard from Teresa Collins. I thought it would be nice to bring in a bit more gold since I have some gold in this card here. I also have some Heidi Swap mink stickers that I did, so those will, like, it's nice, I think it's nice to layer a circle on a circle, so I might do some of that. I haven't decided yet whether I want to go outside of the circles or if I just want to layer right on top of them, because I could layer to the side like this, and that could be cute, but for the moment I'm wanting to kind of stick within the circle. And so I'm just going to look through some of these and see what I think I could add. I think what I want to do is decide if I want to add a bow or 2 first. This spot seemed really natural to me to add one. I think I might like the darker one. So what I'll do, I'm going to use a glue dot for that. I just have some mini glue dots on a roll here. So just add one to the center and stick that down. Don't use glue dots very often, but with fabric-y things, sometimes it works best. The flare kind of looks cute, just layered into the circles. I wonder if I pull this one here so that it pulls up the darker color, and then I could put this one down here somewhere. I don't know if I like them on either corner. It looks too intentional. But the other spots don't work as well because I have this. We'll see. I also thought that these little hearts would be cute to add in because they're the same green color. And so I thought maybe here would be a cute place to add one, and maybe just by where it says the story. Oh, actually, I think it might be cute to add one here in the center of that card, kind of. Well, see, here's my other problem. I like to separate things out. I don't want them too close. So what if I put one here? I'm going to pull that flare off for now, and then I could add one more, maybe right there, or right there. I kind of like that. So now I have 3 areas where those little hearts are. And I did want to bring in some gold. I pulled out these Maggie Holmes puffy stickers from her confetti line. And I don't know if they'll work because they seem a little bit too cream. These ones don't have any of the darker color on it. I don't think these will work this time. So I'm going to go ahead and scratch that. I do want to look at these chipboard pieces because I want some elements that aren't just flat. And so I don't want anything that has the bright teal in it because I don't have that anywhere else on the layout. I like the idea of the ampersand, and that could fill up a circle kind of, because the ampersand kind of denotes more than one person because it's this like one thing and another thing. I like it right here actually. That's cute. And then if I can find one more that can come down here, maybe if I find something small to put on the card with the woman here, that could work because then I've got it in 3 spots. I have these smaller ones, and these have little hearts on it, so maybe I'll try one of these. This is a Heidi Swap sticker sheet. So I think that works. So now I've got a bunch of hearts. I've got 3 areas where I've got that gold. So these are adhesive backed, so I'm going to pull the adhesive off here because I do like that. I'm going to use that for sure. I don't think it needs much more. I think maybe a few enamel dots. So I pulled out these ones that I just got from the dollar bin at Michael's. And then I think what I'll do as kind of a finishing touch, so I'm not going to use the flare that I pulled out or any of the other elements. I think as a finishing touch what I'll do is I'll add some Heidi Swap gold color shine, and I'm going to add that so that it goes off of the little areas here. So I'll just add a few drops. I'm not going to go crazy with it. Into 3 areas. I think I want like 1 larger drop in each cluster. And I think that's going to complete it. So this is a layout where I took several 3x4 and a couple 4x6 cards. I used a die, you could use a punch as well, to cut out the various shapes and patterns, and then I used that kind of in almost a grid form on this layout. You could use different shapes. This would be really cute with hearts. You could do triangles, you could do squares, any sort of shape that you can line up like this, and that's another way that you can use your cards. I hope that this video has been helpful. If you want to view other videos in this series, be sure to check out the playlist on my YouTube channel called Out of the Pocket. You'll find much more information on the products that I use, and you'll find more close-up photos over on my blog at www.craftygenschow.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me again soon. See you later.